Henry McClure Live. Hey, for those of you that think the hotel was a bad idea, as they proverbially say, hold my beer, okay? So I want you to, if you're a homeowner today, I want you to go down and look at your real estate tax bill and know that this big building right here pays about $3,500 a year in real estate taxes. Now, it got this deal probably because they said, hey, look, we're going to turn this into something fancy a long time ago, and Fancy Pants never was able to perform, okay? So here you've got a building that the owner of the building and their associates have never really been able to pull anything off, right? Well, so in comes Topeka. Now, Topeka is an NGO, non-government organization that receives $5 million a year in sales tax dollars for economic development. So what makes this worse than the hotel today is they've signed Topeka has signed a lease here. And now they're going to put $9.5 million into this thing. And yeah, hey, you can look at all this fancy stuff, but know that you're paying for it with the sales tax. So a building owner and their associates had failed to use this building for a free market deal, and now are taking our sales tax dollars to grow the community and increase the tax base, because that's what those sales tax dollars were for originally. And what I'm trying to convey to the public, to the voters, is I won't stand for this stuff if I were ever elected mayor. Because this is wrong. This is a real estate deal that stinks. And that's something I know about. I know a little bit about real estate. And we shouldn't be taking our sales tax dollars and funding a non-government organization, Topeka, to be in business. Because if they were any good in business, they'd be in business. So let me try another analogy. Let me take another swing at this. I was with a friend of mine last night, and I saw a light bulb come on. I love it because it like lit up the room. When this idea finally went through, is when I was saying that Topeka controls all the commercial leads for the community because they control the economic development money. And that creates an unfair playing field for just the non-chamber member. So let's look at it this way. Topeka is a board. Let's say, look at them like a board of doctors. And if you're sick, you go to that board of doctors and they decide how you're going to get well. And let's look at the chamber like Big Pharma. Well, they got to make sure that the doctors recommend stuff to make them profitable. But what we're finding out today more than ever is there's so many ways to get healthy on your own, just individually and naturally. And that's why we need to take the economic development money that we earmarked for economic development and just put it into the roads today. Now I'm going to post on under this, and I'm going to post separately but equal because a friend was saying, well, how did this whole thing get started? And I was one of the guys that went out and tried to raise the money, go talk to the Kiwanis, talk to the Rotary, talk to people. And I'm going to tell you, Chuck Wright, when he was at one of the meetings, he was a mayor a long time ago. He goes, Henry, he goes, it all sounds well and good, but just know it will just turn into a slush fund, and they'll just circulate the money amongst the old good old boy network. The biolab was a failed project at Wolf's Camera. The laboratory idea, and then look at this. You ought to see him sell this thing at Jetto. Ooh, look at all this. Well, so if you want to rent one of the conference rooms later, you got to pay for it. And why should you have to pay for amenities or that you already paid for it? You paid for it with the sales tax. But putting government in business. So what they've done is now they've just created a machine. Ooh, hey, this guy came. He's the next greatest guy. And I know I should be more articulate and not break it down to that. But man, I gotta strike a chord with you guys. This is great. Become a sponsor. This is what I'm saying. If the chamber says this is so good, the chamber should fund it. If the owner thinks this is so good, the owner should be funding it. But we shouldn't be using our taxpayer money when we have roads to fix and we have a deficit. We have a deficit on being able to fix up the roads. So we have our priorities way, way out of line. You tell me what's different. What's the difference when one day they'll say, you know what would really be neat down there at Westridge Mall is to have an iron rail go there. But we're going to have Go Topeka run it. This will end up being, and I'll be around to see it, this will be a bigger boondoggle than the hotel. And I'm telling you, sure as I'm sitting here, they're laying in the weeds right now. They had a request for $300,000 in deferred maintenance they got to do. They're fixing it up for somebody locally. So then that guy looks like the hero for bailing the hotel out. You watch. Come riding on his little white pony. It's no different than this deal. There are elected people on city council that should never be reelected again to any office for the Jetto votes and just for some of the day-to-day votes. Somebody's got to tell you the truth.